Map reading and navigation are basic skills most of us use almost on an everyday basis. We might not navigate in the same way that we did 50 years ago, but during the last week, I can almost guarantee that all of you have used some sort of GPS or map service on either one of your devices. But what happens when you don't have any reception, the battery on your phone runs out, or an alien attack takes out the GPS system of the Earth? Would you be able to read a map and navigate in the same way as you normally would? Or would you be walking around in circles? This video aims to instruct you on how to use a map effectively and how to navigate using it, so that you don't feel lost when the alien apocalypse arrives.
We will walk you through all the basic concepts of maps and how to use them in navigation. But before we do that, we should ask ourselves one simple question. What is a map? Map. A diagrammatic representation of an area of land or sea showing physical features, cities, roads, etc. But what does that really mean? Maps are a way of visually representing an area so that you can get a grasp of what that area looks like without you having to explore the area yourself. It would, for example, be very hard to get a grasp of how Mordor or Westeros looked like without having a map of it, as the areas in those cases are entirely fictional. The concept of maps has also been around for a very long time, and can even be traced back to ancient cave paintings in Babylon roughly 2000 years BC. For more on the history of mapmaking, here's our expert, Katelyn Milbrand, a renowned cartographer from the University of Missouri with doctorate degrees in cartography, geography, and anthropology.
The very first maps were painted on cave walls, but it didn't stop there. Since then, maps have been printed on stone tablets, on wooden blocks, on ordinary paper, and most recently in digital form, with the general trend being increased accuracy and precision. It should be noted that maps are never a true representation of reality, but an attempt to recreate the world in the form of an easily understood geographic diagram. However, for a map to be easily read, some things must be left out of the maps, meaning no single map contains all the information about one particular area. This is why there are many different types of maps. There are many different sorts of maps, including political maps, physical maps, climate maps, road maps, topographical maps, and the list goes on. However, for the purpose of this video, we will dive deeper into topographical maps, as they are mostly used for traveling, hiking, and orienting. Topographical maps have an emphasis on showing human settlement, such as roads, cities, and buildings, but may include some thematic information such as vegetation or the boundaries of national parks. They show elevation using contour lines, which joins points of equal elevation above sea level. They have very good location reference systems, including latitude and longitude, but may also have grid lines. And they often have additional information such as an arrow pointing to magnetic north as well as true north. If any words in that description seemed a bit unclear and confusing, don't worry. We will be going through all the main features of a topographical map in the following section. Let's just say that we will map it out for you. Scale. Map scale refers to the relationship or ratio between distance on a map and the corresponding distance on the ground. For example, on a 1 to 100,000 scale map, 1 centimeter on the map equals 1 kilometer on the ground. Here we have a picture of Anton in his normal scale, but if we take another picture of him and reduce the size of it to half the original, that would be a 1:2 replica of the picture. That's because 1 unit of length in the smaller picture is 2 units of length in the original. The same logic applies to maps, and the unit of length is often, even if propagators of the imperial system would protest, centimeters. The most common scales for maps designed for hiking are 1 to 25,000 and 1 to 50,000. Legends. Legends give information by using symbols. Symbols can be figures, shapes, lines, and colors that show where places and things are on a map. A map's legend tells you what the symbols mean. Coordinates. A coordinate system is a system which uses one or more numbers, or coordinates, to uniquely determine the position of a point or other geometric element on a map. Remember those boring algebra lectures with Cartesian planes and coordinates? Well, exactly the same principle is at use here, except we are using maps instead of planes. The longitude of the coordinates denotes how far north or south a particular point is, while the latitude denotes how far to the east or west you are. The longitude can be anything between 0 and 180 degrees, while the latitude can be anything from between 0 and 360 degrees. North points. While we might think that there is only one north point, there are actually multiple. These three types are true north, magnetic north, and grid north. True north is, as the name implies, the true northern point of the Earth. That is the direction from a point in the center of the North Pole. Magnetic north, however, is the direction that a compass needle actually points, and it is located in Canada. The reason that the needle points that way is because of variation in local magnetic fields, which creates magnetic declination, a difference between true north and the magnetic north. Finally, we have the grid north, which is following the direction of the longitudinal line. The difference between true north and grid north, however, is usually small enough to be neglected. Bearing. Bearing is the direction or position of something, or the direction of movement, relative to a fixed point. It is typically measured in degrees, usually with magnetic north as 0. For example, the point is on a bearing of 15 degrees. With these basic concepts, which are common features on topographical maps, you can easily navigate using a compass and a map. As long as you know where you are and you know where you are going, these two instruments should be enough to get you safely to your target. But what if you don't know where on the map you are? That is not as hard as you might think. By using different physical objects around you, you should be able to locate yourself on the map. If not, you can always use the bearing to find yourself on the map, as described in the following clip. So that's it. I hope this video has been instructive enough for you to be comfortable in navigating with a map. If you're looking for more information on the subject, there is a lot of good information out there. Just go to the links provided below, or ask your good friend Mr. G. Oogle for further assistance. Thanks for watching.